In just a few days, college baseball teams and fans will be traveling from across the country to play at Charles Schwab Field here in Omaha. Local law enforcement say traffickers can be among those in the large crowds. KETV News Watch 7's Madison Perales talks with people bringing awareness to the problem and their work to prevent young people from being exploited.
Project Harmony tells me youth trafficking does not come and go when big events like the College World Series rolls around, but rather a 24/7 issue the group is trying to bring to a halt. The nonprofit's work started several years back and with the help of local law enforcement.
It's not so much that we see like a whole bunch of new victims popping up. It's more like you have people traveling into the Omaha metro area.
Sergeant Brett Schrage has been with the Omaha Police Department for nearly 18 years. He started working in the Missing Persons and Juvenile Trafficking Unit 7 years ago. His work consists of
identifying some of the problems that we may have with human trafficking in the Omaha metro area.
In this time, he's worked in tandem with Project Harmony's Missing and Anti-Trafficking Youth Services group.
They'll review every missing youth report from the Omaha community. And that's a lot of reports. I think we average probably between 80 and 100 unique missing youth per month.
Director Taylor Newton says when they started in 2018, they had 3,200 missing juvenile reports. Last year, that number went down to 2,400. Through collaboration with the National Center of Missing and Exploited Children, Newton says they've identified 5 common warning signs of youth potentially being trafficked, and that includes involvement in the foster care system, 3 or more missing reports, young people being found in hotels or motels, and being victims of sexual assault, substance abuse, and child neglect. These identified trends have led to some arrests.
At the end of December of 2020, we're sitting at around approximately 60 confirmed victims of trafficking who we've worked their cases and have arrested their traffickers.
While Schrage's team works on the investigation side of things, Newton's team works hand in hand with the juveniles.
You have to be ready to provide what that trafficker was providing to fill that void, or else they'll go back to that situation.
Newton says the young victims' needs can vary.
If the trafficker is providing housing, then we need to step in and provide housing.
Schrage says when big events like the College World Series rolls around, people can look out for things that seem unusual, like odd relationships between a child and adult.
The other thing is control over documents, such as like IDs, passports, whatever it could be. A trafficker is definitely going to have control of that.
He says they use the warning signs to get ahead of future exploitation. And they train officers who may not be looking for trafficking victims in the first place.
Oftentimes, that's where some of our best cases have started.
Newton says educating young people and the public is key.
Trading acts of sex for something of value or a basic need, that is human trafficking, and then a lot of juveniles don't make that connection, or they're not aware of those things. And make sure the community and other professionals are trained.
A sentiment shared by the Omaha FBI office.
The public are our eyes and ears. People out there attending this event, staying at hotels, they're the ones most likely to see indicia of human trafficking.
Newton says people can anonymously report if they're concerned about repercussions.
That call or that report that someone may see on the streets or see at the CVS could be the piece of the puzzle or the clue that we need for future involvement or future intervention.
If your gut's telling you something's off, you can contact the 24/7 Nebraska Human Trafficking Hotline at 833-PLEASE-LOOK. All the other ways to report suspected trafficking will be available in this web story at KETV.com. Reporting for KETV News Watch 7, I'm Madison Perales.